Welcome to the Dr. Hutch Show. I'm Dr. J.L. Hutchison, coming to you live here in Cleveland, Ohio on 1220 Beyond the Word. Today we're going to be talking about the story we talked about last week, School Abuses Black Special Needs Kids, Part 2. We're talking with Miss Elaine Jones and her two sons, Trayvon and Tyrese McDonald. They're twins, and we're talking to them about what happened last week. The last couple weeks. Last week we had them on the air. We talked about an incident that happened where that they were involved in a situation where they were being harassed, and then not only harassed, they were assaulted. And the school over at Woodridge High School did not turn around and give them the support that they needed. So I would like to introduce you to Miss Jones and her boys once again, and we're going to talk about some things and get an update of what actually happened. And matter of fact, I myself was with her on last Monday, and we met with the superintendent, Mr. Davis. We met with Mr. Morgan, the school principal, and Pastor Seitz, which is a counselor, independent counselor that works for the school district in regards to situations. So we talked to them and we tried to get along. That was the first thing we wanted to do, is get along to make sure that we can resolve this and work together. But it seems like that was not the case, because some other things underlying was going on. Matter of fact, Trayvon McDonald was sent a document, far as in the mail, from the Cuyahoga Falls Police Department charging him with disorderly conduct, which is totally bogus. This is ridiculous, and we're getting down to the bottom of everything. So folks, join us and listen in as we talk to Miss Jones and her kids. Good evening, Miss Jones. How you doing?
Good evening. Well, we're doing better this week, and just grateful to be here today, Dr. Hutch.
All right. Could you tell us an update of what happened? I know you had went over to the school that following day after Sunday, last Monday. What
yes.
happened?
We met with the people you just named, the superintendent, principal, and I like an intervention counselor. And the meeting was okay. I just think it was basically out of formality, because
but you had a meeting earlier with the principal that you
met. Yeah. I had the principal meeting with the principal, and he was very defensive.
Very defensive.
From the time the meeting started, I sat back, and my whole intention was to work with him to, try to create an atmosphere for my children and other special needs children to learn.
Us there. What happened?
The principal asked me why was I even there.
Wow.
And I was shocked. I said, well, I'm here because I want to find out what happened. What have you done since the time Trayvon was assaulted? Because first Tyrese was assaulted, and then Trayvon was assaulted, which resulted in Trayvon being suspended. I was following up with him, wanting to know, had he found out anything? Had he talked with the other students? He said, have I done anything? Like what? I've done everything I was supposed to do. That other student has been suspended. You got the incident report you asked for. The time when the incident with Trayvon, I gave you the incident report. You didn't have to request it. I gave it to you like you said you wanted. I don't know what else you expect me to do.
Yeah. For those listeners that are the first time listening to this situation is at the high school here in Ohio, and they go to Woodridge High School. The situation is that one of the kids was assaulted last year, actually at the beginning of the year, and that was Tyrese. And the principal failed to follow the school policies and making sure that this young man was protected. Matter of fact, the mother, Miss Jones, didn't find out until she actually went to a parent conference and found out by one of the teachers bringing up the incident about him being punched in the stomach. And nothing was sent home with him, no incident report, no nothing at all. If she wouldn't have went to the parent-teacher conference, she would not have had this information. Tyrese didn't tell his mother because of, you understand how teenagers are and how things are as far as with kids, and it's not necessarily a pride thing. It's a thing of that the school did not protect him no matter what. She did meet with the principal after that fact, and she did turn around and give him a letter acknowledging that this incident had happened so it could be put in the records. Well, Lord and behold, next thing you know, another incident happened based on his disability and his young man challenging him and putting his hands on him. So there's 2 assaults that have happened just to Tyrese alone. And then that was I believe a Monday or Tuesday.
That was a Monday.
And then on the Friday of the same week, Trayvon, his twin brother, was assaulted by a young man who said that he was annoying. So he turned around and hit him. And
punched him in the
face, swole his eye, gave him a black eye. He had to defend himself. But as him defending himself, he was charged with disorderly conduct. But the underlying thing of this is that these young men have planned this. This is not just a incident that is just a isolated incident. This is an incident that was perpetrated on them, not just on their race, but on their ability and who they are and what they represent. And based on the school basically protecting that individual and the other individual, this becomes a racial issue because these young men's civil rights have been violated. The school did not take the measures and follow their own policies to protect the children from harassment, from creating a hostile environment. But we all can say that the evidence is where it is, and the school has not since then taken upon the investigation to conclude that these kids have had that perpetrated upon them. They are still protecting the school and protecting the children that did this damage and violated the rules. And the principal himself has taken a stand and saying that it was justified by Trayvon getting punched. The school itself, the jury is still out about Tyrese, and they still haven't given him the protection and given him the comfort that he needed. Mm-hmm. So, and updating you about what had happened, Miss Jones, could you tell us what is the update right now? Where are we at right now with this situation?
Well, one other thing I want to add that the principal said when I met with him alone was that he began to get loud, and he told me, "You're not going to come in here and tell me how to do my job." And it was at that point that I realized that I was not going to be able to work together as a team with the principal to come up with a solution that would help my children feel safe. So I left his office that morning and called the board of directors, the school board, and then requested that I meet with the superintendent there. I felt if the superintendent was aware, the principal would get a different attitude. So that next morning we did meet, and of course the principal did have a different attitude. He wasn't defensive and speaking loud and aggressive. He waited until I had told my side of the story, even though while I was telling my side of the story, he was shaking his head no and, just making gestures. He just could not just sit there and let me tell the story, but that's fine. I got it all out without him interrupting me. And at this point, Trayvon still was out of school for 5 days, suspended for defending himself against the young man who came up and said nothing to him. He was not even aware there was about to be a fight, and the kid just came up and punched him. Yes, they had had a few words earlier, but they had been separated, and Trayvon pretty much thought it was over. Neither Trayvon or Tyrese have ever been suspended from school for fighting, and so this was just really a big deal for us, especially all happening in 1 week, school week. Monday, Tyrese was assaulted, and then Friday, Trayvon was assaulted. And through my own investigation, I actually found out that the boys that assaulted Tyrese the first time and the second time, they're two different individuals. However, they're all friends. Same with the boy that assaulted Trayvon. So there's these group of kids. They are friends. The one boy did say to Tyrese, "Because you're disabled, I know I could beat you up," but he used profanity, of course. And then this boy that actually had something to do with Trayvon being punched had come up to Trayvon says numerous times, and told him, "I would punch you in your face, but then that would make it a hate crime because I'm white and you're black." And unfortunately, Trayvon didn't take it serious. He didn't come and tell me, because that in itself, those threats should have been punished. But Trayvon left it alone because, like he said, they're only words. And I've taught my children that if someone's talking to you, that's one thing. They haven't put their hands on you, But in this day and age, we do know if someone makes a threat, we need to report it, because too many things have been carried out because of threats.
Yeah, I know that as far as you are new to being here in Ohio, and Ohio is like the northern, the Midwest is more like the Mississippi. Is a very prejudiced state, and you can see that just by going around different things. White means privilege, black mean no privileges. People put a mask on, they parade. I grew up in Ohio. I know that Ohio perpetrates a fraud, and when it comes to race, the blacks and the whites, they have never got along here in the state of Ohio until it becomes sports. When it is sports, it's a game that everybody plays together, but there's boundaries. But we also have to understand this situation is these kids' future, and as far as their education, and the school has a fiduciary duty and a responsibility. And I was reading last week, as far as in regards to the law, there is no law on bullying, but there is a law as far as no federal law on bullying, but there is guidelines, and when the kid's civil rights is violated, and the civil rights is the freedom to have, to do, to go places, and the freedom to learn, and not be encumbered by a hostile environment, any threats that can threaten them physically, mentally, or verbally. But this is a situation that the school is not standing by. But what I like to apply to your situation and to any situation is goals. I have my 7 steps to change your life, and basically setting goals. I believe the first, what it would be one of your goals in doing and pursuing the school in this situation? What would be one of your first goals in saying, okay, I'm going to target this goal as far as for your children? Is that far as having a clear environment, them not being encumbered, but but also being able to help other children,
to make sure not just that it doesn't happen to just my children, but that all children, especially those with special needs, because sometimes they are more likely to keep abuse and mistreatment secret, because they're afraid that if they tell, that the mistreatment will increase.
Yeah, okay. And then as far as setting a timeline, the school year is ending.
Right.
So you're still going to pursue this.
Yes.
I kind of overheard or knowing that you're seeking counsel for this. But as the summer comes upon the kids going on their school break, what is it that you can instill in your children that if this was to happen or any possibility of happen, what would you instill with them over this summer to prepare them for anything like this?
Probably just making sure that they know that they do have rights. And just like with Trayvon, not realizing that the first time that he was ever threatened and even told that I would punch you in your face, but that would make it a hate crime, I'm white and you're black, that was a threat. Just making them know that they do have rights, and that they can feel safe knowing that if they report it and tell me, they're going to be made safe. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that they are protected. And if I don't have the support of the school, then I'm going to make sure I get the support somewhere, because my boys are be going into their third year of high school. They're going to finish school. And I don't want this to be something that hinders them or discourages them to, interrupt their education in any ways.
Yeah. All right. So that's, and then as far as having, I see you sound like you're building a team, you're making your priorities, you're making it clear that you want your children to have a good education. Are they going to go to college?
Yes, they both plan to go to college. And like you said, Dr. Hutch, I am trying to build a team. I need the legal backing to speak for me and speak on behalf of my boys. And again, speaking on the behalf of other children who could potentially have this problem. I want to raise the awareness that this thing probably has gone on with other children, and I want them too to feel confident that they can come forward and report it and not be afraid.
So what Tyrese wants to be when he grow up?
Tyrese actually wants to go to culinary school, and Tyrese is right here. On this side, this is Tyrese, and that's what he has a passion to do. Trayvon here wants to go to school, and he actually likes psychology, and counseling. He's interested in that particular field. So I want to definitely encourage them to do that.
All right. And then as far as it sounds like you have a vision for your children, but as this situation has evolved, what is your vision in seeing this turn out? How do you expect this to turn out as far as with the school? Is the school still will be defensive because of who they are, or because I heard they have a zero tolerance?
Right.
So having a zero tolerance and then turning around and charging him with disorderly conduct, the person that was a victim of a hate crime, doesn't make any sense. Right. And then the justification of them failing to provide protection for Tyrese, it makes no sense. What do you think, and what is the result? You're looking at the principal being replaced? What are you looking at?
I think he should be replaced, because it was not once, not twice, but even more than 3 times that he was just defensive and uncooperative, and trying to work as a team and trying to respect my concerns as a parent. And I made it very clear to him that I wanted to work together with him. I didn't expect him to do all the work. I'm willing to do my part too to resolve this issue, and like I said, raise awareness that this situation is going on. And I'm not saying that my children have been the only ones. I'm at the point now where I think it could have happened to others, and I want to make sure that other children feel safe to come forward. And if they're being bullied or they're being targeted, that they have the confidence to know that they can come forward and be protected also.
Well, I thank you, Ms. Jones, and thank you, Tyrese and Trayvon, for being here once
Thank
again.
you for having us.
And one thing we want to do, and also just basically me having the opportunity to be in that meeting, I felt that the school itself, Mr. Davis representing as being the superintendent, I didn't feel that there was an urgency to do anything. I didn't, because he kept on talking about having future meetings, nothing to resolve really what the situation is in the school, but to almost to mitigate your concerns and possibly prevent you from any legal action against the school. So I felt that, and I felt that Mr. Morgan, he pretty much has a reign on everything, like he's a wild dog gone crazy, and he really didn't have anybody over him, even though that was his boss next to him. But it seemed like he basically has the one that makes the call at the school. So as me seeing that, I see that this situation needs to go to another state of mind, and another level of somebody taking them to a position where they have to surrender and realize that they were wrong in what they did. I don't believe that they are conscious of what has really happened, because I think what has been blocked has been because that they are black. If this was a white kid and this had happened, I mean, this would be on the news. And you have contacted the media, right?
I have contacted several local news stations, and like you said earlier, Dr. Hutch, by me still being fairly new to Ohio, I just tried to reach out to several news stations via email, and that's I've gotten really no phone calls returned. But I did get the story posted on a few of their websites under the title "Justice for Tyrese McDonald."
Yeah. So it sounds like if he was of another race and ethnicity, it would be a different story. It would be on the front page of news. In the media business, it's not an interesting story, so it's not going to get them to get more advertisement dollars. So black is good when you playing Blackjack 21, but black is not a good thing when it comes to any violations or even assaults on black people. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this to the next level, and you dealing with the Dr. Hutch Show. And what we always do is make sure that the community knows what's going on. We not only help you develop yourself personally, but we help you develop yourself as a community. Thank you for joining the Dr. Hutch Show. I'm Dr. J.O. Hutchison, and next week, join us as we talk about something that will change your life. And this is Dr. Hutch, and I'm just... Good evening.